Mercedes Mone be making her AEW debut tonight at WrestleDream. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about the rumors, reports, all that kind of stuff about Edge potentially showing up tonight. Big show, the start of a new era in AEW, allegedly, according to everyone on that program. Let's dive deep. Before I do, though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Okay, so Mercedes Moné, what we know so far, we haven't heard too much from Mercedes ever since she made that appearance at All In, and it was an appearance. It was not a debut. It was not a an official statement from AEW saying that they had signed her to a long-term contract or anything like that. It was an appearance. It was an agreed upon thing where AEW wanted her to be there in the building. She wanted to be in the building. She wanted those eyes on her, obviously. And it just made sense to do that, even if they didn't have a necessarily a working agreement right then and there. But it's been noted that Tony Khan is obviously very open to having her and having those conversations with her. You would think that Mercedes would be very open to that. And look, if you are AEW, you are trying to kick off this new era. That's what everyone's talking about. Tony Khan mentioned it multiple times on Twitter and in the pre-show media conference. They also mentioned it. They being Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness this past Saturday night on Collision. They mentioned that this coming Dynamite on Wednesday is going to be the first Dynamite of a new era. They are really pushing this idea that now AEW is entering a completely different era from where it was before. And if you want to differentiate yourself, if you want to stand out, if you want to make sure and put that stamp of approval on this new era, you would think that there's no bigger way to do it than debuting one of the hottest free agents in professional wrestling, arguably the best free agent in professional wrestling today, Mercedes Moné. You want to get that women's division a big-time star, or another big-time star, I should say. There she is, right there. You have a working agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so she can go and do New Japan dates while she's signed to AEW. There's so much on the table for both sides here. I don't think money, pardon the pun, is going to be in the way of this at all. If I'm Tony Khan and I want to make sure that I get Mercedes, you are backing up the Brinks truck for Mercedes Moné. Like, we all know that that's the case. Now, as far as how she could debut, I mean, the place where she fits in the most, you would think, is in the Chris Statlander Julia Hart match. Assuming Chris Statlander wins, you could have a situation where Mercedes comes in and, interferes in that match, or perhaps at the end of the match has a stare down with Statlander. Maybe they do a segment with Saraya, which I think would be cool if you just have like Saraya do a random in-ring segment or whatever, talking about why she's not wrestling and building up her match with Hikaru Shida, and then Mercedes Moné just shows up. There's so much you could do. I think that no matter what you do, it would be hard to find a way to mess it up. It would be hard to find a way to book it where it's not good. But I'm really hyped for this. I am in Seattle, so this is going to be a big moment, hopefully, for AEW, for wrestling in general. Another person who we all have our eyes on, and another story that everyone has their eyes on, is Edge. It is October 1st. Edge's contract with WWE has reportedly ended. And if I'm WWE, if I'm AEW, knowing that, I think I would have already agreed to terms with him on a contract at this point. This is an interesting one because it's the one that everyone really talks about. It's the one everyone really, is hyped for. And in my personal opinion, the fact that Darby Allin versus Christian Cage was announced or was reported by Meltzer, and even Darby Allin on the Countdown show said that it is the main event of WrestleDream. I think in some way, shape, or form, we are going to get Edge debuting for AEW. I just think it is It is all but certain at this point. He will debut for AEW at WrestleDream tonight, and it is going to be a fantastic moment because one of the biggest stars in the history of wrestling is going to at the age that he's in, around 50 years old, make a giant splash. And we talked about it with Mercedes. The same goes for Edge. If you want to kick off a new era of AEW and put that stamp of approval on a new era of AEW, this is how you do it. Debut one of the biggest stars of all time against someone who he's been wrestling with, who's been his best friend for his entire life. Um, Now, as far as like what you do with them, I made a video actually just a few days ago about how to book Edge in AEW and why he's going there. Be sure to go check that out. But outside of that, like there's so many ways you could go here. You could have Edge debut as a heel helping Christian retain. You could have Nick Wayne turn on Darby Allin and then Edge come to the rescue and have a tag team match between those two. There's so much you could do. And the best part about it, and this is like the best part about wrestling, no matter what you do, this is one of those moments, this is one of those things that cannot not be great. This is going to be awesome. And I can't wait for WrestleDream. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson's also on that card. Will Ospreay teaming up with Sammy Guevara and Konosuke Takeshita to take on Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho. Blockbuster match. So many great matches on that card. I'm hyped for it. I'm going to be in the building. I'm also going to be at the post-show media scrum. This is my first time going to one of these post-show media scrums. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully, I'm going to have some press conference content up on the channel, some shorts and videos and all that kind of stuff up on the channel following the media scrum. So I'm hyped for it. Yeah, and you know, I really mean it when I say, like, thank you all for having subscribed, having watched videos, having even hit that like button on videos. It's kind of weirdly all led to this moment, and I'm very grateful for it. So, thank you all. Speaking of liking and subscribing, be sure, if you haven't already done so, to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.